once again, thank you for making it to the studio talk today. My name is Wetu David, and I'm actually excited to introduce our partner, Gothe Zentrum. We actually have, I wouldn't call her an advocate, I would say she's a representative. Yes. So, very quickly, we're going to do an icebreaker, but it's going to work both ways, as an introduction, but as an icebreaker. So we are going to begin from right there. You know, she didn't want to. So you're going to tell us your creative venture, and then you're going to introduce yourself, your creative venture, and then why you fell in love with it, actually. Yes, your creative venture and why you fell in love with it.
I am called Elizabeth Chiyinji. Mrs. Chiyinji, for emphasis. I really like that name, so I prefer it now over my name for many, many years. I run a business that does many things. I say it with my chest. I run a business that does many things. Interior decor, decoration for small events, and fashion, which is mostly in personal shopping. Why did I fall in love with it? With all those things, I think I love changing the look of things. Even in conversation, I love bringing in aspects that are just not the normal ones. So I just like changing the feel of things, the look of things, so changing faces and spaces. Yeah.
Why did you fall in love? That's why. Hi, everyone. I am Immaculate. I am a personal concierge and interior and fashion designer. Why did I fall in? Oh, like personal shopper, sourcing, agent. Yes. An international one. Anyway, so why did I fall in love with what I do? For the personal shopping aspect, I like shopping on other people's money. It's nice when you're buying things and it's not your money, especially if it's a lot. But for the design aspect, I like color. I like color, psychology, and everything around it. So it led me to, I like color and spaces and clothes, so it led me to do those things in school, and now I'm also running a business. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to comment.
Yes.
Yeah, briefly, you're telling us who you are, what is your creative venture, and what made you fall in love with it.
My name is Magezi Conrad, creative venture. I'm a photographer and new to film. What's the other thing?
What made you fall in love with that?
What made me fall in love with it? Proximity to it, I guess. I was raised by a photographer. So I had the proximity to the tools. I just wasn't interested until later on, and when I did when I did try it out, it stuck. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm good, grace, patience. I do art. I am an artist, a fine artist, mostly painting and drawing. What made me fall in love with it? There's something beautiful about being able to recreate. It's like being a god it's like being a god in a way. And also, I so happen to be good at it. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. My name is John Adusa. I am a photographer and designer. What made me fall in love with it is an outlet for myself, a way of expression, because most times I tend to keep quiet. So with the creativity, you're able to speak in a different way.
Poetic. Hi, my name is Twinom Gisha Jackson. Twinom Gisha is my brand name. I am a photographer. What made me love photography is I was shy. I didn't want to be in front of the cameras, so I opted to be behind them. Yeah. Yeah. But then I'm also good at it, so.
Okay.
Hi everyone. My name is Ulok Twinyu Obiahop, also known as Obiam Writes, the poet. I am a performing artist. I am the team leader of Obiam Writes Foundation, and I am the arts administrator, Yenze Theatre Conservatoire. So I fell in love with having a foundation because I love working in communities and I love change. I am a performing artist because, number one, I wanted to prove to my parents that I can earn from the arts. And number two, the performing arts allow me to be someone I can't be in real life. And then I am an administrator because I love taking care of creatives and seeing them grow.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kenneth. This is my first time here, thanks to Emma and my other friend called Sophie, who's not here. I'm here because I was given an opportunity and a chance. So, actually, nothing makes me happy. One of the things that make me happy is being in the midst of people with a common dream, common mindset, that brings everyone together, having almost the same thinking. And I'm so happy to be among one of, Uganda's next top creators, So it's so exciting. I'm so expectant of what is going to come out of you guys. And I am a decorator. I do events, decor, weddings, and I've been doing it for over 10 years. And right now, I'm trying to venture into photography. I've been doing it, but not on a professional level. So that's why I'm so excited to be here, because this is an amazing place. I've been hearing about Agandi, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, guys.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mercy, and I am a photographer. I did not love photography at first. Like, I didn't go like, oh my God, I want to do photography. I just got my phone and started taking pictures. Then I should say my love grew from there. Yeah. The ability to tell people about other people without gossiping. It's interesting. So, to tell people stories and to know that the world is bigger than you, that is something that has made me fall in love.
It's so interesting that recently I read a meme which was saying that events photography is professional rumor. It's professional rumor mongering. Wow. Like, okay. Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Paul, a photographer. I got interested in photography because of the magic that comes with playing with colors. Yeah, that's where my interest is. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my name is Geoffrey Sewachirianga. Running a brand called Story by Pictures. I am a photographer, documentary and humanitarian photographer. I am a typographer and also graphic designer, but I'm a lecturer as well. So, so at first I wasn't interested in lecturing, but I grew interest because it's good sharing knowledge and sharing what you know, or grooming other people to do or to be better than you. Well, a photographer, I love so much to share what I've seen. So I love recording memories so that I can share it with others that have not seen it yet. I also love biking.
Yeah, that one I'm sure.
Hi everyone, my name is Karama Emmanuel. I am a photographer, a designer, a graphics designer. I fell in love with... No, I'm not in love. Yeah, I have a background of, my interests were in art and technology, so I found graphics a perfect intersection of the two. And then I did it for 5 years there, and then I brought in photography. It's been like 8 years since. Yeah, not for photography. Yeah, so that's, to me, my love, it's just an intersection of my different passions, art and technology.
Yeah. Just to be sure, guys who have just joined us, thank you so much. We are just briefly sharing who we are, what is our creative venture, and what really made us fall in love with it. That's all.
Hello, everyone. My name is Barbara Emolot, and I serve as the cultural assistant at GZK, which is the Uganda German Cultural Center. And creatively, I make bags. Okay, I make bags for ladies, for professional and versatile women. And and also I craft bags for professional and versatile women of Kampala. And you guys, let me finish. And aside from that, I also tend to write. So what made me fall in love with both things is when it comes to the bags, it challenges me. And then when it comes to the writing bit, I just use it to explore feelings that I'm not yet well conversant with. That's all.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maka of Capture Photography. I do documentary photography. I'm also a social worker. I first fell in love with photography. I used to be a model. Okay. But every time the camera was at me, I wanted to be behind it. Like I direct myself all the time. So I figured I should do it, and I fell deeply in love with it.
Hi everyone. My name is Ashraf Walum. unlike any one of you here, I'm a data analyst, but I also do startup launches and consultation. I work with SafeBorder, but my interest is like my choose or path this year is how to integrate creativity and tech and how best I can help on that. So, yeah.
Hi, everyone. It's weird to hear yourself. Hi, everyone. My name is Eric. I am a data analyst as well. Yes, I do a lot of AI integration nowadays. Yeah, I'm a creative. That's all. Okay, another thing, I'm a canning artist. Canning, Kerning. Canning artists. So it's an acronym that I use for, if anyone doesn't know the meaning of that word, then you don't know my career. Canning is with canning. What made me fall in love with canning is the ability to what made me fall in love with it is the ability to create visually appealing items through canning, having equal spaces in my letters, and using the golden ratio to split up my sizes.
Hi everyone. My name is Makobi Emmanuel, and I'm a photographer and lecturer. And when gigs are not available, I produce podcasts as well. Yeah, that's what I do. Seasonal podcaster. We haven't done an episode in like a year, but yeah. And then what drove me to for podcasts, it's mostly because I just needed something to just keep me creative, because there were days you'd get tired of looking at pictures and stuff. So that's just a space that I went into, also because I used to listen to podcasts a lot, and then I just went in there just trying to figure out things here and there. For lecturing, I always wanted to teach, and then this one random day, my boss from Artfield just called me randomly at 9 a.m. on Monday. I was super asleep, and he's like, yo, do you want to teach? I have a class of like 2 people. Like, yeah, of course. So that's how I got into teaching. Teaching is really, really hard, but it's very fulfilling, like seeing people coming from, this is the reason I like it, because it's very fulfilling, like seeing people come from taking pictures that are like these ends to like at least getting somewhere, something that's presentable. It's like it's really, really nice. And then for photography, why? Because my lecturer back then was very passionate about it, and for me, it's just one of those. And then one day he made a statement, and he's like, for these kinds of courses that you do here, or for photography particularly, you don't really have to wait till you're out of school to start, make money from it. Like, you don't have to stress your parents asking for pocket change and whatnot. So that's how I really got started. Like, I won't come and lie. I was passionate about it. No, I wasn't. It was money, really. And then the passion came after. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. You guys have just literally mentioned my name. I'm Mary Diana Laruni, also known as Mary D. I am a visual artist, multidisciplinary. In that case, I merge different forms of art, and voila. What made me fall in love? Art pursued me, and then yes, and then we fell in love. Something like that, because I had a mentor, and he told me, I am so passionate about this thing. It seems like art chose you. You didn't choose art. So that's like kind of like a slogan I carry around. So yeah.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Hi guys, my name is Kenyi Bashir. I'm a photographer, videographer. Yeah, so how I fell in love with like photography and videography, I think I guess like my circle, I think people I grew up with are like all creatives. So it's like I just found myself falling in love with it. It's like that's it.
Oh, actually, several ladies in the house. Generous, I want to ask you. Yes, sir. So you're briefly telling us who you are, what you do, which is your creative passion, and what really made you fall in love with it. Only that.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sebo Lule. I'm a Uganda poet and a rapper and a performing artist. What made me fall in love with poetry? I just wanted to express myself because when I was growing up, I was quite shy. So I had to find a way to challenge myself to stand before people and threaten them with my voice and with my actions. So, and now I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I love the enjoying part. Yeah. Once again, much appreciation to our partner, Gothe Zentrum. Yeah, it's really awesome to be partnering with them. So briefly, let me just introduce our creative topic, just for those who were not able to get the memo. Yeah, creative, what legacy are you leaving behind? That is the topic of the day. What legacy are you leaving behind? That will be the focus point of today's discussion. So I'm going to just ask a question, random question. But I'm going to first ask it to this handsome guy. For your information, he is single.
We will cut that out, eh?
Yeah.
I will come and can you.
You know, I was starting that before we even introduce ourselves. I needed to shake him a bit. My name is David Wetu. Just that the ball shouldn't pass into my hands. I am a creative also. I do a lot of things. I'm trying to look at data analyst. Oh yeah. I currently run a company called Godhand. I do workspace strategy, but mostly focusing on oh God, I'm having a headache. Mostly focusing on the psychological impact of workspaces towards creatives, making sure that every person in their workspaces work at their most effective way, or I can say at their best, both psychologically and emotionally, all those aspects. So through design, through lighting, through a lot of things. I wouldn't want to, because it's too much. I want Fish to really introduce himself too, and then we kickstart the conversation. Yes, Fish.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Levi. Friends call me Fish. And look at you. And man, I've heard people saying they're canning artists. I've heard people saying they're data analysts. I'm like, bruh, is it a creative place anymore? But when I hear people saying they're photographers, I'm like, man, I don't think I think I do videos. I'm lower. But I'm a filmmaker, I'm a marketer as well, but on top of all that, I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. So that is it. That is it, really. Sorry? Oh, what inspired me? It was 1996. My father took me to the first movie. That was Terminator 2. And I really love the fact that the film had, it's a picture, it's a motion picture, yeah? But it really inspired me to it actually changed my life to a point where I was like, hold up, moving pictures really can influence someone else. So why don't I do movies myself? Why don't I venture into videos as well? So I was like, hold up, I'm shy just like Jackson. So I'd rather be behind the camera. I'd rather be behind the camera to produce something that can at least impact some other person's life. To me, that's how I best communicate. Yeah, that's it.
You were camera shy.
Yeah.
That's a lie. Okay. Yeah, so the reason why we started off with that icebreaker, it's always important to remember what really made us fall in love with what we are doing. And it's so important because of, so I'm just going to ask a question. What is the purpose of your artistry? Does it matter? What is the purpose of your artistry? Does your artistry have purpose really? And if yes, does it really even matter? Do you want to take a shot on it?
Yeah. Just as God is creative, I am creative as well. So when I see what I'm producing, I see His hand in I see His hand in what I'm producing as well. So it matters to me so much that I can have, as the Bible says, we are created in God's image. When I see that, I'm like, wow, I didn't know how special it is. God, the superior deity that we worship, or at least that I worship, is an artist as well.
You're already having, Makobi, you have it. Lecturer, sir. What is the purpose of your artistry? You told us you do photography, you even actually teach, and I know you said with time you picked up the interest, you know. So do you think you know the purpose of it? And if yes, does it really matter? You know?
To be honest, back then, if you asked me that question, I probably... Because the thing is, when I started out, I wasn't, thinking very intelligently like this. So back then when I was starting, it was just, take a picture, edit it, and post it or whatever. It looks nice, makes the other person feel good, and that was just really it. But now, of course, with the teaching, now I think it is, because I think before you answer that, you need to, you know how everyone has a different definition of something that fulfills their heart or something that makes them happy. Like someone might love sneakers, for example. That's the stuff that makes them happy. Another teacher might derive fulfillment from seeing, for example, a one Mako become, they are very green, and then them leaving and they've learned something, because they are going to be able to use that to maybe change something elsewhere. So even for me, when those, like I said, when those students come in and you literally start from scratch, like from zero, and you're supposed to spend usually, I think, like 9 weeks with them. Like for those 9 weeks, you're supposed to forge a relationship to help both of you, to help each other, and then at the end of the course, when someone comes and gives you very good work, or even decent work than from the one that they had before, for me that's that's like super fulfilling. So I think my artistry, like you called it, has a purpose in that way. And then now for the photography, even before I started doing it professionally, for example, like in my family, I was the guy that's always recording stuff on the phone. Like, even all my friends know right now, like I'll document literally anything and everything. So most times when a guy passes away in the family, when they call me to inform me that the guy has passed away, the second question usually is, do you have a picture? Have you taken a picture? Like, do you have a photo? And then you're like, yeah. Then like, okay, choose which one. I know you've taken many pictures of this person, so choose which one and then have it framed and whatnot and stuff. So most funerals that have happened in the family, there's like that boy shot it on the on the coffin. But even for weddings and stuff, we had a wedding recently on the weekend. Everybody from my mom, my uncle, my sisters, even the guys who are getting married, I didn't do the gig. Even the guys who are getting married, the next day, like, bro, do you have this video when we were coming in? Do you have this picture? Did you take a picture of this and this and this? Like, I was just sending pictures to everyone. So I think my artistry or my photography and my art is purposeful in that way. So I feel like when I go, they'll be like, that guy, man, he used to keep stuff for us. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, I feel as creators, I think we should be actual creators, not just creators, because in our generation, people have actually looked at making money out of the things they are doing. And when you come with an intent of making money, you're not going to create. I want everyone to look at around you, like the things you see around you. The chair you're seated on, the hanger you're seeing there, the lights. Everything you see was created by someone. Just like this gentleman has said, that God is the best creator because he's the one who started creation. God didn't create a table. What he did, he created a tree. So out of that tree, someone came and created a table or anything, or a chair. So that's supposed to be the same thing with us creatives, that whatever you're doing, you're supposed to make something that is different, that is going to stand out, that is unique. Me, I'm a decorator. I do decoration, events decor. But every time I go out there to decorate, I make sure I'm supposed to do something that is unique, something that someone is going to look at and they're going to appreciate, not just for the sake of money, for the sake of doing it and it's done. Because at the end of the day, when you're doing it for money, anyone can do it for money. When you come with an intent of just taking pictures for money, everyone is going to just come and take for money. But what special ingredient do you add, for example, in your pictures? What special ingredient do you add in your videos? Because when we all work with the intent of doing mediocrity things, we are all going to stay at the same level. But when you come with an intent of making a difference, creating a legacy, you're going to go beyond. As a man thinketh, some of us don't want to think, just want to go on the internet, maybe copy what someone has done. You also do that. But as a man thinketh, so he is. You're going to have to think. You're going to have to look at it in another dimension. And I feel by doing that, we can be better creators. And actually learning from those who went ahead of us. Because sometimes we don't want to learn as youths. We think we can do it. I can do it myself. And we have to ask, actually, I love this gentleman, what he said, that for him, he said for him, his best creator is God. So if you don't have someone you're looking up to, if you don't have someone you're submitted to, you're not going to create. That's it. So it can either be you're submitted, for example, if you want to be a better creator, you have to first be submitted to God, who's the best creator, the best of, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. You understand? Because he created everything. So if you're not submitted to the greatest of all time, you're lying to yourself. Then if you're not looking up to people to inspire you, because we are very, very proud people of this generation. We feel like I cannot look up to someone, or instead of actually looking up to them to learn from them, we are actually trying to, what do I call it? We're trying to envy them, to envy their work. You see someone doing something nice, instead of walking up to them and asking them, how do you do this? That's a thing we are failing to do. But you're going to be a better creator when you learn from someone who has gone ahead of you. Other than that, I don't think we can be better creators. So thank you.
This guy has covered the entire topic.
The whole thing. But that's awesome. Thank you so
The guy
much.
even applied KJV as a man thinketh. You know, that's deep, bro. That's deep.
Yes, thank you. For those who have just joined us, we have kick-started our conversation. Yeah, it's awesome. And yeah, he has a submission for us.
Well, I things I don't agree with, but I'm not going to indulge. I'm going to just give my submission. So for me, my purpose is there are two things. One, archiving, and I think about that a lot, especially these days when I'm working. I use a lot of paper. I make sure I write every idea down so that in the future it can be a point of reference, and also something another artist can learn from. Why? Because I've noticed many of us use computers, and because we use computers, we don't really store the process. We store the product. So I could, someone could ask me how I came up with a poem, but I will not show them the process. I'll show them the poem. Or I'll tell them how, but not show them how it came about. So I think that is something I've learned from one, Kaduwaswa, the Kaduwaswa archive, because when I went there, I saw work that has been kept by an old man, and he tells you he uses a lot of paper, he gets photos from wherever, and then he puts together a piece of work. So, one, archiving the process and archiving the stories, because I write about things that I see every day, things that are on the news. I could write about cassava, of course in an entertaining way. So for me, again, if we look at Uganda 50 years from now, and they're asking what were the people in 2024 doing, what kind of art were they creating, then there can be something to be referenced or checked. And then point two, preservation of language. And that's why my art is in Uganda. I am doing it selfishly. I don't care if you understand. I don't care about the Muzungu. I might, and then when I do, there are other forms of access, like translation. But I think it's important that as a people, we can tell stories in our languages. Even if you're only 5 tribesmen left, you can sit and have a conversation in your language. Even that itself is art. Because these days, even when people of the same tribe meet, they want to speak in a foreign language. And it's strange. It's actually ridiculous. Like, come on. You are all Banyankore. You've gone to Rukunjiri, Ombarara, and you're speaking in English. Why? And it's even broken. Okay, it could not be broken, but then it's not, that is not the place where it should be. So, and I am glad that I've inspired other artists to create work in their languages. Some of them have told me. Of course, those who are not proud enough will come and tell you, you've inspired me to create this and this in my language. Like work, he has told me face to face, and I like the work that he's created in his language. And there's a way he does it where he mixes Lugwere and English, and you could think it's one language, the way he raps in two languages back and forth. So that's it, man.
Please, you now will be taking pictures in Uganda.
You can in artists. What is canning in artists?
That's a big lie. Sophie.
She has denied.
She has denied. Roy, it's wrong, eh? It's okay. It's not.
I've just gone with bed. Just a bed.
Oh my God.
Eh?
Yeah.
I'm black.
Okay. Just one submission from him. Then I have a question I would love to ask you. Just immediately after him. Yes.
So it's a perspective from a non-creative, but with an interest. So
Sir,
from what
you were
he
creative.
said, so from what he said, the interest is always about, as creatives, you've all had stories of where you've come from, how your journey was, what you needed when it wasn't there, and maybe it's that time for those that are somewhere putting out together a platform where you're able to support those that are starting. They have the passion, but they have nothing to start from, or they don't know where. And so from these learnings, like he says, the archiving, tech, the one thing we've learned from tech is finding solutions from what was the past problem and making it easier. So it is a little bit of my interest, like from how do we get from all the stories and learnings on what was your hard time and how are you able to support the future, or those that are just starting with their passion from the learning. Yeah, so that's basically about my interest on it. And no, it's just a supplement.
He was just. Okay. Yes.
Thank you very much.
No, it's okay.
So I was trying to think about this before I came, and thinking about legacy, and it can seem like it has to be something like world-changing, yeah? And honestly, I told myself, I think I'm just going to go and listen, because for me personally, my purpose for why I do what I do, especially to earn money, was because I grew up seeing my mom work night and day. Yeah. I grew up wanting to just, I was like, but when is she at home? Just with the family. And my mom Bambi used to create time for us. Now, okay, when I'm older, I can say that. But when I was younger, I craved it. And so I reached a point when I said, when I grow up, I want to be a stay-home mom. And so for me, that has been my purpose. The reason I have multiple sources of income is so that I'm not like drawing from one and being so stressed if it doesn't bring, or, but it allows me to grow a legacy for my children or my children's children, to know that their mom was there for them. So that's why I do what I do. So that's the legacy I'm building.
Oh, speaking of legacy, Fish, what does legacy mean to you, most especially throughout your creative journey?
Okay, in this context of creativity, all I can say is it's an artistic fingerprint that no man can duplicate, that you leave behind for not just this generation but the next. That's what I can say.
Anyone wants to take a hit on that? What does legacy mean to you, mostly throughout your creative journey?
So for me, what I think, or how I think of it, is having work that is unforgettable, because we are living today, but then tomorrow we are not here. If you die and then your work is also somehow, metaphorically, gone with you, then like what was the point? People don't remember that you were once an artist, and then even the work that you've created somehow has lost its importance and value to the society that will be existing at that point or at that time. So I think for me, when I am creating, I like to have work that can live for years, that can again be referenced as that which was present at that time, like a historical creative piece of work. So again, that's why I call it archiving, because it's within the times and the environment. For instance, my metaphors or my similes are within a time that I write certain work. So in the future, there will be points of study, case study, the way we study Pabitech and Chinua and other, and Cafero and so on. So I don't think the artist should create for now. You create for now and tomorrow and forever. Yeah.
I'll have one submission from that side, and then, yes, 3 more. Yeah, and let's just hear from him. Yeah, what does legacy mean? What does legacy mean to you, the creative?
As a creative, legacy has some few words that can describe it. Among them is the uniqueness. The reserving it, that is, I think, storing it for later, and the purpose. So whereas your legacy now could have less impact because of maybe the nature or the area or the location you're located, someone else somewhere else, or some other time later in life or in the future, someone will fall on whatever you did, and it will make so much sense to them. That's why archiving, like these men said, means a lot. You have to really write down whatever you're doing. You have to keep it somewhere for the next future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really powerful. Yes.
Hello, once again.
Hello.
So for me, I think it's relative.
Okay.
Because I do documentary photography. My work is mostly sent to donors. You know, sometimes organizations don't even allow you to share the work. But my legacy is with the people that I meet. Fortunately or unfortunately, it's less fortunate people. The people that I work with are women who are going through things, or children that are going through things. So I think the impact that I leave with them, sometimes I print pictures and take them back. I think it's with the people that I work with, the people that don't even know about social media. Yes, so that's why I'm saying it's relative. Yes, please.
Because for me, I think that to those women and children, you are more important than the client to whom you send the documentaries, because it's you who captures their stories. So they'll remember you all their life. They won't care where that documentary goes. It could go to BBC, it could go to CNN or wherever, but they'll remember you because you held that camera and recorded their story. Yeah, for me, I think that is your legacy, actually.
Does it have to be public? No. Does a legacy have to be public? Like, does everyone have to know about you to have left a legacy?
Okay. I think I've been meditating on the word legacy, and I realized before I understand legacy, I need to understand purpose. Before I understand purpose, I need to understand identity. What is the difference between the three? Identity is who you are. By that, I don't mean the title that you hold, yeah? Because people are always about, hey, you know what, I'm a photographer, but yes, that's just small bits of you. That's not who you are. Yeah, you get. When you look at purpose, it's about why you're here, yeah? And that's a question that a lot of people, even the 70-year-olds, have failed to answer why they're here. And it requires you to disconnect yourself from the world and trying to evaluate exactly what you're doing. And it's never about you. It's about others. That's what purpose is. Now, when you're looking at legacy, it's related to what you will be remembered for. Yeah? Now, it's never about you. It's what you do for others. And it has to be very impactful to a point where it leaves a certain mark in them that they will never change. So we look at legacy in terms of, oh my God, I reached out to 1,000 people, now they're good. Sometimes you can have numbers, but you don't add any value to them. Yeah? It's never about numbers. It's about someone's shift in life because of what you've done. That's what I can say. Yeah.
Okay. The person right behind you.
So my name is Tikia. I work for Gandhi. And first I'll say why I do what I do. So I started writing in 2020, I think, after I became a mom. I was documenting my experience being a single mom. And I just wanted to be strong for my daughter. And so everything that I do is for her, because I knew that as a mom, like there's only so much I can do for her to turn out perfect. And so I thought that if I work on myself and become the best version of myself, then she will also become the best version of herself. And so I guess from what Levi said, I'm still on the part of understanding identity and purpose. Legacy for me used to be blur. Like, I never wanted to be out there. Like, I just wanted to go through life and finish. And like, yeah, so I'm still at the part of understanding purpose and identity. So yeah, that's where I'm at for now.
Oh, thank you so much. So when we talk about legacy, mostly, I know our eyes usually drop us to a place where it's supposed to be, you know, when we talk about maybe File Bongo Lelutaya, something like that, people who are remembered, Then someone asked a question, what about those great creatives and people who have been helping others in the villages? No one has ever heard about them. What about those people who have been doing things secretively, but have been helping the world move on, yet not appreciated? Actually, in that book, they talk about spies who really have helped stop wars, but they've never been heard of, Do you think they don't leave a legacy behind them? Then it draws us to a question, what is really that legacy we are talking about? So we have tangible legacy and intangible legacy. And tangible legacy is one where it is not hidden and it can be easily referenced. For example, if later, many years from now, and people are in the classes of poetry, and then they pull out of the archive, they pull out Sebolule's poem maybe. So that becomes a tangible legacy. But her documentary, it's a direct hit on lives of those people in the field. However much the organization cannot pull out that archive to show people or something like that, but those people are the testament of what she did on their life. So most times when we look at legacy, that's why Fish had to clamp it together with purpose. What are you doing beyond yourself? Are you so selfless to do something that, yes, it's not for the sake of fame or to be remembered, but just to know that you left the world with a mark? You helped a life. Sometimes a legacy doesn't need to be left on the whole world. Sometimes it just needs to be your daughter, as she said. Your children to know that my mom was there. My dad was there, But again, the broader perspective is, what will the world think about you when you're gone? Were you a useful citizen or just another hashtag? Okay. Okay. It's possible. And people have died with stuff. Actually, someone said one of the richest places in the whole world is graveyards. Because, oh my God, we have a lot of creative mindsets. People with good hearts who died without any opportunity to let it out. So, yeah, please don't die like any other statistic. Okay, Fish, which values guide your creative journey that you believe are crucial for your legacy?
I can think of only two. That is commitment and and obedience. That is it. Would you like me to expound, or you?
Yes,
you
oh,
guys
please
know
expound,
what?
please.
Okay, by commitment, I mean dedication towards your vision. And discipline, I mean that obedience to the same vision as well. Discipline is very uncomfortable. You wake up tomorrow and you don't feel like doing something, but you do it because you understand the kind of vision that you're trying to build as well. So those two values is something that I really hold. And for the things that I'm creating, sometimes you get stories and someone comes and says, Fish, the challenge with your things is they take too much time. I'm like, yes, it's because they are attached to my name, period. I only have one thing in this planet, that is my name. And what it will be remembered for is what I just am working for. So if you think my work is too slow, it's okay. Go and do your work the way you want it to be. But I've been in a journey for a while now, that is 4 or 5 years, where I'm creating something that no man actually knows about it, and it's okay. Because I know what it's going to do to other people as well. So it's between me and Baba God. So the rest of you just have to wait. Yeah, that's it. But the two values that I hold, that is commitment and obedience. That is it, to whatever vision I have. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very important. Just, you're going to help me pass it on to her. Yes. Another poet in the house. Yeah, just briefly tell us any two values that you think are crucial for your creativity and that you think that are really helping you leave a legacy.
Okay. Thank you. I think, no, I don't think. I know. I know that the first one is humility. The humility to know that I can do this and I cannot do that, however much I push myself to it. The humility to know that he does it better than me, so let me be humble and learn from him. And and the humility to know that I know it, but how do I come down to the person that does not know it and help them grasp it, or help them grow through it and become maybe even better than I am. And then the second is the ability to say no. I am still, as I age, I am learning. I'm still on the road to learn how to say no to some things. But I think it's one of the values that I have learned to accept are very necessary for me, especially with the path of art, the administrative part that I have chosen. To know that there are things as an administrator I'm going to say no to. Many of the time, not for me, but for the young people that I am working with. Yes. That's my response.
My instincts have just told me there is a gentleman behind me who did not introduce himself. I have sharp eyes. So just tell us about yourself, your name and what you do, so we get to know you better.
Yes, hello everyone. Yeah, so I don't talk much. I feel like my work speak more than I do. I think most creatives are like that. I have few words, but my name is Caleb. I am born again, and I'm also a graphic designer. And I'm happy to be here. This is my first time.
Thank you, Caleb. He's also single. Yeah, just disclaimer. Yeah, again, another disclaimer. Before we go, I will encourage us to leave behind our emails. Agandi will be very happy to send you newsletters via your emails. Yeah, about the talks mostly. It will really be, unless you don't have an email, I know how to open email accounts for people. They know Instagram accounts. Okay. Back to the same question. The values. It's really, the reason why I'm asking this is because in order to leave a legacy, there are some things that you got to have right. If you do not have a clear path, you cannot. All the people that we know, the Nelson Mandelas, the one thing that they had in common is they had certain principles that they will die, but not to cross over them. A story is told that Nelson Mandela, in the prisons where they stay, they used to give them numbers, maybe prisoner 135. Guy refused and he said, if you want me to respond to anything, you have to call me Mr. Nelson Mandela. Guy jumped until all prisoners were called their names.
I refuse to accept this.
Yeah, so we believe in order for you to leave a legacy, you need to have a bunch of principles of values that you carry on through your artistry. Yeah, so all of us are creatives and we believe we have our creative processes. What are those specific values and principles you carry on and you think are crucial to your creative journey?
As I said, my name is Mercy. Nelson Mandela was a womanizer. I just found it in a documentary, and that's what I remember right now about him. But that is not the point. The point is, edit it out. Okay. It was just interesting. It was just interesting to say. So, I would say a value that I'm starting to learn, just like Tikia over there, is identity. I think many of the times we are caught up so much by what is trending and what is like the thing out there. Like, if you don't do this thing, you probably won't get paid. If you don't do that, I've heard of stories where people take their stories or films to be made, and they're like, this is not what sells on TV right now. If there's one thing that I'm seeing these days also, if we go on almost every film or every movie, there's like a sex scene or something. You know, those things that are like the thing right now, but do not fall with your values, and they do not fall with what you actually believe. So we're at a point in our lives where we are trying to fight for who we actually are. Like, it's a literal fight. Like, people are bringing things on us that we do not believe. I don't know about you, but me, there are so many things that I cannot do in my work because people don't think they are fancy. You go on social media, you make, let's say, a video, or you just, like, you wake up and say, let me talk about this, and you'll talk about it, and you'll get 2 views. You and someone who's like your best friend, because you are not in a crop top, or because you're not dancing some certain way. You understand? Like, it's so messed up. It is so messed up, and that is something that breaks my heart at times. Like, it is so messed up to what people actually want to see and want to know and want to hear about. Like, the things that are important are no longer important. I watched a certain movie recently, I've forgotten the title, But these guys were telling people that the world is ending. And then when people on social media, oh my God, how? And they're talking about the people who, I don't know, it's on Netflix. That they're telling people that the world is ending, and everyone was like, who is she to tell us on social media? You know, all those social media things of how this one has this one, this one has this one, like social media wars. Before you know it, the world ended. And no one cared until they saw, those fireballs coming. So that is, I think it goes back to identity and knowing who you are and what you represent, what are the values you actually represent, and that is a very important question. So for me, it's identity. Like standing and knowing that this is who I am. Someone said a very interesting statement one time, and they were like, Africans, we come from a line of strong people. Like we come from from generations of strong people who have endured things. Like I can imagine being put on boats to go kilometers and kilometers to a land you do not know about. I'm talking about slavery. Yes, going to a land you do not know about, reaching there and being sold like an animal. And these are things that we now see on movies and all that. And we look at them like they're things that didn't happen. Like, it looks like fiction, right? It looks like fiction. But these are things that people have gone through and people have talked about. Now you can see the whole issues of racism and all that in America. And people are angry. But these are from generations of pain, yeah? So for me, I think one thing that drives my work is to actually tell people of things that are important, things that actually matter. Yes, okay, maybe your trends matter. You understand, yeah? Maybe they actually matter. But there are people who actually need help. There are people who actually need to be heard. Like, our world is in crisis. It's in crisis. And for me to actually stand up and talk about something, or even though it's to take a picture of one dancer who's dancing about something that matters to him, like that is what I find my fulfillment in. To tell someone that actually this happened to him, this happened to them, this is what is occurring in, certain places. I think that's why I am so much in love with documentary, because it talks about those things. Like, there's a documentary that came up about the children in the north after COVID, how so many girls got pregnant. Oh, God. Watching it broke my heart. So for me to actually tell stories that actually matter, every story matters. Every story matters. I believe every story matters. But for me to tell stories that someone can actually look at and say, oh my God, I need to change this about my life to change that. I need to begin with myself to change that. And to stand alone, even though you do not trend, like what you said, like even though no one sees you, even though no one hears about your work or what, but for you to actually change someone's life in that way, I think it's an important value. So identity, that's one thing I would say. I think the other value is, like you say, discipline. For you to wake up and do work that you do not. God. Like, to drag yourself to do something even when you do not feel like doing it. I think it comes, with time. People know and people watch what you do. People actually watch what you do. I don't think there's something that you can do and, okay, yes, maybe they're there, that there are things that you've done and people are like, And I think another thing that I love is, I'm a love of art history. I like to read art history, like things that happen. Like art tells us who people were those days. I don't know if you notice it. Like when they burn your art, they burn your identity. They burn who you are. You know, these Michelangelos and all those people, they're known because of what they did. Actually, most of these Europeans get their history from there. That's culture, you know? But when the whites came to Africa, they burnt our art. They will burnt it to the ground, and people are struggling. That's why when Uncle are speaking with each other in English, you know? All those things. And I think it's so important for us to go back to our roots and to learn that, yes, that is what's...
I will just expound. I've heard two people talking about the issue of identity. Maybe this is just something that I came up with. Maybe perhaps it can help out. I summarize the issue of identity into 4 words. That is experience, express, demonstrate, and fulfill. That's it. But what do I mean by express? That is sharing your thoughts without holding back. Experience, that is getting the knowledge through direct participation. Demonstrate, that is showing what is truthful through your actions. And then fulfill, that is achieving something good that you promised. When I look at those 4 words, it's beyond that title that I have. I'm a painter, I'm a photographer. So that's how I managed to classify my identity, at least. Maybe it can help someone here.
Thank you so much. Wow, it's really been enlightening. So this question goes to all of us. Yes, and yeah, I'm talking to people directly. Yes, since we're in Uganda, and worst case scenario in Kampala, we believe that there are people who are really building legacies. There are those Ugandans who are making it up, waking up every day. And I'm even talking about some of us here in this room, or all of us in this room, you know. So each of us is going to tell us an example of those Ugandans who are really building strong legacies, you know. Hey, that's why I said, like, everyone, and thank you. Yes.
So I can name one person?
Yeah, you can name, one, or two, but you might finish.
Go full Wikipedia, it's okay.
Okay, it's okay, you can go full Wikipedia. It's okay.
All right, so for me, the person who has come to mind is, I'll start the story with, there is this documentary that we watched, which was submitted for Ngalabi Short Film Festival that we usually have every year. And when I watched that video, that documentary, it was about a Ugandan Dutch man called Theo, who had been born in Kenya, then went back to the Netherlands where his dad was, and then he wanted to connect to his roots. He's from Karamoja. And so he connected. So when he came back, he was like, okay, this is something that I had not realized I'm a part of. So what he did is he created a travel tour agency in Karamoja, which is connecting Karamoja basically to the rest of Uganda and the world. And now this documentary is him going around Karamoja and Sudan and showing there is this group of plain Nilots called the Ateker, and he is trying to show that. Oh yes. So now this guy is part, like I've told you already, he's from Karamoja, and so it means he's also part of the Ateker. So now in this documentary, he's trying to show us that in Sudan, there are
sister tribes that connect to this other part of Atekere because of the immigration stuff and all that stuff. So when you watch this documentary, it's really beautifully shot, and you can see how someone from Soroti can actually listen and understand what someone in Sudan is saying. And so he's creating that connection. And when I watched it, I was like, I am an Itesot, and I didn't even know this shit was there. Like, I had heard of it, like, oh yeah, there's some people there, there's some people there. But then when I saw that there's someone who is, I don't know, like me there, and maybe when we are to meet, it won't be like meeting a stranger. It will be meeting someone that I know, but I don't really know. So I really find that that guy is doing something great, and he is exposing and showing that we are all connected in some way, even if we are in different parts of the world and we might not know. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you just give it to the next person.
So guys,
oh, it's called Atekere. Maybe.
No, it's okay.
Maybe you can find it on YouTube, or I can find a way to. It was shot by some guy called Edmond Tamale. So I don't know if you. You know Edmond, eh?
Yeah, in fact, in a very, very few minutes, we're going to break off, and then they're going to share all the details to... Yes, oh my God, it was really sad. I now think I have brothers somewhere. Yeah, I'm now, I'm now thinking of it. Yeah, tell us. Yeah, one Ugandan, yes.
keep. You people
don't get killed.
Before I went to school, I was self-taught. I started teaching myself things, but there are people I met along the way who taught me everything I know. So clap for yourselves also, because for this space to be here, it's amazing. My copy is my legacy, yes. Oh, I'm his legacy. So guys, I thought I'd just say that. Creatives who do not get keep, who share, who want you to learn, who don't care about if you're going to go past them or not. Those ones, they're the real heroes.
Me too. Those are my heroes.
Mine goes to Jim Spire Sentongo, the cartoonist. How he has managed to incorporate whatever people's frustrations and what they are going through his art and use his platform. So basically mine is Spire.
Mine goes out to a special guy is here, none other than Mr. Fish. Fish may not know it, but honestly, he has inspired a lot of people. May know him from other circles, not only from here, but when you see the things that Fish has managed to accomplish, he's a very humble guy, but with a very heavy CV, by the way. Yeah, you see him there like that, but he's like a giant Mountain Everest, or I don't know. But yeah, keep doing what you do. I know you don't publish a lot of your work, but some of us get to see it because we know the channels what it goes to. So you're like, hey, okay. And most times he's always very good at pouring out himself. He doesn't hold back. For those who know, like he's very quick to share resources. If you're like, oh, I need documentation on this, he's like, oh, there's this, do this, do this. I'm like, what quotation should I give? He's like, do this. As I think his time when he was here, like he said that, it gives out like very nice stuff and content. Yeah, so shout out to you.
I'm not crying, you are.
The legacy. Yeah.
Hi everyone. My name is Nelly Kerera, and it's not my first time here, so yeah. I am grateful for creatives that let others share, i.e. the one that started this studio talk, and the ones that are aspiring to let others share. I'm really grateful for you guys, because creating spaces like these, it gives creatives the space to be understood by fellow creatives. So for those that really help us put our feelings out there, thank you.
Don't you guys fear when you're all creatives, you're all photographers, here you competition, which, and I'm like, man, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. We're all here to learn from each other. We're all here to collaborate. We're all here to push each other. There's that African saying that says that, you'll walk alone, you'll walk a short distance. If you walk as many, say we'll put it better. I don't know Uganda, but I know you get what I say. Yeah, that's it.
This one is pretty obvious. I would say he is the idea bearer. Is that a thing? Is that a word? Yeah, vision bearer. He made the sacrifice for this to happen, for this community of people to be a thing. I think that's such a great sacrifice. He said something once, I think on the day when we talked about purpose, when he said one of his biggest fulfillments, or the things that fulfill him, is one of his members outgrowing the Uganda brand. And I think that is one of the most selfless things I've ever had a person say, because he said one thing that truly fulfills him is when one of his people here outgrows the Uganda brand and goes ahead to create bigger things. So that is truly unknown selflessness. Unknown selflessness. So yeah, guys, give him his flowers when you see him. The other for me would be, I think, every creative that shares their work. Guys, sharing work is not easy. It's not easy. I know this because it's extremely hard for me. I probably last posted on Instagram in 2022 or 2021. But guys, your work keeps us going. Your work keeps us going. It inspires us. It shows us what to do and not to fear to do things. I think every day I be looking out for, you guys know those posts Katumba Badru makes on Twitter every day about the mundane, like everyday street life. Like there's not too much to it, but it's something to look up to because it's like a glimpse of fresh air in a way. So guys who share their work, your flowers. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, he needs some tissue. Conrad needs some tissue. Okay. Yeah, once we come back, you're going to be the first to share because of us have to share. Yes, but for now, we're just going to break off for about 10 minutes. You're just going to grab a cup of coffee or juice, refresh up, and then catch up, ask questions, attack if you need to, shoot your shots. I don't know. Yeah. Do you, be you, and then we'll be back here in about 10. they're just a bunch of our friends who had not shared the Ugandan who they think is leaving a good legacy behind.
For me, personally, especially like in my career, I would say it's a lecturer of mine. It's called Mr. Uganzu Bruno. And he only taught me like in first year, but then we became good friends. This is a lecturer who would lecture 30 minutes to the end of the lecture. The first 1 hour he would spend it telling us how important it is for us to immerse ourselves in our crafts beyond the classroom. First man who told me about Behance, like he was telling us about places, platforms, constantly pushing us to go out there and telling us like it's not enough to get grades, like grades are good and whatnot, but he constantly pushed us to do more than just pass. And even after that we remained friends, and he's the person who has introduced me to like spaces in the creative or in the art side that have been really helpful for me. Like whether we like it or not, like low-key, you know that there are circles you don't just enter. Like you have to know someone to enter them. And he has been part of the reason I've been able to like get into those spaces and meet these people who are a significant part of my journey. And I believe legacy, like one of the moderators said, is some is unseen. It's kind of like the butterfly effect. Yeah. There was someone in Mandela's childhood, or before he became famous, that contributed to who he became. There's someone in Barack Obama's life. There is someone behind that person you think made it so big, that led to who they became. And I believe for me, it's these people in my life that have pushed me in certain ways, that are part of, the ones I recognize, yeah, as leaving a legacy. Yeah.
For me, it's my dad. And I don't know, that guy, sometimes I wonder, I'm like, is he an angel or my father? Because it's like every day he lectures us on how to approach life and how to find solutions to problems. And in his generation, or in the places he has worked in and the people he has worked with, he always leaves behind something that he is remembered for, and it's something that's very impactful to their lives. He was working in government, and he was known for his good work ethic. When he retired, he decided to continue with teaching, and so he's still sharing all the way through. And he doesn't stop there. Sometimes he will teach, because, man, his career and mine are like so different. But he knows how to find me in this common ground and make me understand on how I should approach things in my understanding and in my way. If it means talking to me in baby language, he will do that to make sure that I need to understand. He's the reason I am humble. And one thing I always keep in my heart is he always tells us to work hard. It doesn't kill, but it pays. And I can assure you that is what drives me. Even on days when I have 0 shillings to do a project, there are always ways. Trust me, that is why I woke up one day and I was like, you know what? But let me use the resources around me to create art. And I'm using Kasoli to create art, like this maize husks, you know, because these are the principles that I learned from this gentleman. And one thing I want to share with you that he already shares with us are the 7 principles of the ego. You could go and read that, and I know you'll know where you lie in society. And yeah.
Nice. Good evening again. A person who I really think is leaving a legacy especially among creatives, is a place called Agandi Studios for me. That is the person. The team here. I always meet very many creatives, and when I'm interacting with them, I'm like, I saw this at Agandi. They're like, hey, how did you get there? That place is so... You know how it looks on Instagram? Yeah? When you see it, you're like, hey, how do I get... And I'm like, no. There is studio talk. Just enter. Go and see what is there. Talk to people. There are people with experiences. Because I remember the first time I met Nino, that's the same feeling I had. I'm like, hey, these guys, and you know. But after some time, you get that feeling of, I can actually learn something without having to maybe, you know how it has been back then. People hoarding knowledge, gatekeeping. So the team here is really doing a great job with that, and I appreciate that.
One Ugandan who for me stands out. For me right now, the name, when you said that question, for me the name that came out was Badru Katumba. And as Conrad said, you look forward to those images. There is nothing too special to them, like in terms of Badru Katumba, in terms of like lighting or composition. There is a lot, and storytelling, like a lot, if you're keen to see it. But in terms of what we think is it right now, you know, the constant photography and whatnot, for him, he's not getting into that line. And for me, what I think is going to help him stand out is that he's archiving. Every day he's posting a picture. And as he has said that, I'm the programs manager for the Poetry Association of Uganda as of this year. And for me, one of the constant conversations we are having is archiving, documenting, archiving, and the consistency that comes with it is key. And creatives, we lag a lot behind that. You know, as Conrad had said, Instagram for me sees, and there are gaps between my Instagram. I'll come one day and post 10 pictures, 2 weeks later, nothing. And seeing Badru Katumba do that every day, for me, is key. And it's, I think, something that I think I need to learn from him. So yeah, the other creative that comes to mind is Twino Mugisha, eh? Yeah, watch out for the space.
Can I give two? Okay. The first one, who is not so known, and I think she prefers, over the years, she prefers not to be so known, is a lady that I have worked with, a lady that I've seen work. Her name is Rosette Nteafas. When you have Rosette on a project, you can go home and sleep. She did it for Bayimba. She's doing it for Tebere Arts Foundation. She does her best. She pays attention to detail. She organizes stuff. She makes sure the team is okay. She is the binding, she's the binding power to the team. I think she has done it a lot, that there are, for those that know her, when they go to a space and she is there, they know that they're in the right place. Yes, and then, at the risk of sounding selfish, I think Twino Mugisha is a legacy. Yeah, and this and this is why, because I think he has taught people the art of photography, but he has also taught them with an iron hand. Like when you're messing up, he's going to tell you, you're messing up. Yes. And and the other thing is he keeps building himself every day. And every time I've had him speak on platforms and he's saying, I am doing this so that when my children come, the challenges I'm facing are not the challenges they face in this field. So I think he's also brewing. Yeah.
Hello once again. Me, I want to give credit to this place. You guys, thank you so much for creating a safe place for the creatives out there. Not so many people can open their doors like that, and they allow people from wherever they come from. You actually do. Actually, I've never met anyone here. This is my first time here, but I've been following Uganda for some time online. But me coming and like me coming here and I find an open door and I just enter like that, is something that I have to give credit to the people who are organizing this. So we've been talking about legacy the whole time, but what Uganda is doing is legacy exactly. So thank you guys. Credit goes to the whole team and everyone who's behind this. Thank you for creating a safe place for the creatives. Where this is going, we can't tell, but all I know it's going to be so big. Because walking into a place and you feel your spirit is at heart is not easy. Sometimes those of you who know, you can walk into a place and you feel like your spirit is taunted. But here, it's amazing. So thank you guys.
So I think legacies, I think what people have been sharing are the people that they have lived with, they have seen them in person and also their works. If we were to say that in the whole of Uganda, I think I have 2 people. Yeah, and he knows. Yeah, so I think there's a lady called Rachel, I met her. She used to work with Lives Art. I don't know if she's still there. And also Eric Okurut, like those are the only 2. Those are the only 2 really people. I don't know if they know the impact they have really done in my creative world. Thank you.
So yeah, that creative that like I see has a stable legacy and all that. I would like to give kudos to my homie, Paul Zana. Guy is a designer. I should say he's a graphics designer, a UI UX designer, and a product designer. No, he ain't. Yeah. So, so like in the creative space, guy like does archiving. I should call it archiving. It's like if you looked at his content from like day one, he's been sharing his journey, how he entered into like graphic design. Like he's been sharing the entire process, how he's become a parent and all that. So in like a broader view of things, he recently designed like I should call it a product. It's called Buvaz. It's like a platform that decentralizes e-commerce. It's like Buvaz. It's like a, how should I even call it? So it's a platform, an e-commerce platform, but it like literally decentralizes e-commerce. It's like peer-to-peer selling. That thing where you're like selling to me, yet not even owning what you're selling to me. If I make sense. So it's like being a broker, but legitly. Yeah. So yeah, I should give big kudos to him. I see him like having a stable legacy, if that makes sense. And secondly, should I stand up for this? Yes. Yeah. So I would like to give kudos like to this space, like at Gandhi Studios. Man, I got to know about Agandi, like I was actually buying a camera from Munje, Joel. Yeah. Oh, Mother's Boy. Yeah, from Mother's Boy, I'm sorry for that, Munje. Huh?
Mother's Milk. Mother's Milk.
Wow. So I was actually purchasing a camera from Munje. It's a Sony. I still use and treasure that to date. So it's how I got introduced to this place. So I entered this place and I saw it so planned. Yeah, high-end, top-notch, man. I've never seen this. So, and I was like worried, like, how is the pricing of these guys, man? And like, and there I saw a poster of him like of Agandi's studio talk and whatever. And I was like, how do I get in there? He said it's a free thing. It happens every other week. And you could come through. And man, I entered this space, and like I like entered a space full of mirrors of like different shapes, like different colors. It's like you people like reflect me in different ways, yeah, in whatever you do, man. And like kudos to this space, man. And thank you guys, man.
Yeah, he was not meaning literal shapes and what? Figurative, eh?
Hello, everyone. My flowers go to this space and all creatives here. I've seen a few faces here before, of a few who don't know me, and I know them like Mr. Sevolule here. And Conrad, for him, I know him. He knows me, and he invited me to this place. So I want to give my flowers to him for inviting me to this place. However, yes, it was an open invitation, but he took that essence to really be like, man, we should go and join up this place. In terms of creative, he's someone who has taught me a lot in the industry, because I'm not too old into it. But his resilience and his values towards whatever he's doing, what he wants to attain, and the direction of the industry, he has done so great about me. So thank you so much.
Hello. Praise God. My name? Yeah, my name is Gaba Arnold Derrick, and the first person I want to thank is my guy right there, Paul. Yeah, that's the guy that introduced me to this place. Yeah, and I thank him very much, because actually the first time actually brought me here, that was last year. I don't remember the month. Yeah, but ever since that day, like every time I come here, I learn something new, and I thank everyone that like speaks. They tell us about what they do, like where you're helping someone, you know. You might be just talking because they have asked you, but you don't know what you have changed in my life. And I appreciate everyone. And another thing, I like creatives. Like even when I'm having my phone, when I'm scrolling through Instagram, anything I see about creativity, I have to first take a moment, and I first do what? Take a look, regardless what it is. And yeah, the last thing, like what I want to tell you guys is, regardless the opportunities you get, however good you are, like you have to respect everyone, whether you're better than someone, whether you're not better than someone. Because man, recently I don't even know how to say it. Like you can get an opportunity, you go to a space, you find someone when you're better than the person, but like it doesn't, one thing I learned for the past weeks, like it doesn't take you anything to be respectful and to be humble, regardless of what you know, you're too bad or you're too, you know. Yeah. And like share knowledge to each other. Yeah, because me, I've really learned very much from him, Paul. Even when I have a lot of questions, even at midnight, the person I call, and he's going to help me. Yeah, I really appreciate. And I appreciate Agandi Studios also. I really, there is no day I've come here and I've left without learning something. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, I'm just going to shoot the last question for today. And so all of us have been talking about documentation, archiving. I've heard people say archiving, and it's so interesting that it's easy to come out of our mouth, but it's actually interesting that few people know how to do it well. Because the truth is, you can archive, but you might not be archiving well. Better enough for the coming generations to be able to tap into the graces of your work. So, I know in the midst of us are professionals who have really been doing the archiving well. So we just want you to share with us how best you've been able to document or to archive your work. Yeah, it's an open question to everyone who thinks they have really clue on how to document work professionally and well, so that generations from now will be able to see our work. Anyone?
So, for example, when an event is done, there is usually a report that you have to do. You talk about what happened and the impact it created and the number of people that attended. And then there is the video, the visual aspect. So there's also another part where you put the photos. So that's when someone who is going to come after me, they can see what happened. And then aside from that, we also take it to the website now. Because there's a time when someone from a time we were not there came and asked for something, for some documents about a piece of work he had done with the organization before we came, and we were like, how are we going to get that? But we went to the website and typed, and it was all there. So those guys had archived it in that way, and it really helped us to get that guy his information. So we also take it to the website and just put the photos and what it was about. And yeah, that is how it has been. And of course also hard drives, because sometimes it can just disappear, so you need something like that. And I also think it doesn't have to be so special like how you archive, but you can just find your way, as long as you can see that, okay, if I'm to do it this way, someone can know that I was doing this, and these were my thoughts, and this is what I'm struggling with at the moment, and this is what I've been able to achieve, something like that. Yeah.
Guys, I hope we are getting all this, because it's important for each and every one of us as creatives to archive. If at all we want to leave a legacy, we need to archive or document our work. Yeah.
So, for me, it's in a number of forms or formats. And the first one is paper. I normally write like notes, even if it's not really a poem. If I get an idea for a product I want to start, like small masavu, I write the first idea I get, then I start to write notes down under it, like who do I want to sell it to, how do I want it to look, what does it mean. If it's small masavu, what is the punchline? And how do people appreciate the punchline size? And then after putting the work on paper, I scan and I save a copy online somewhere in my drive. Why? Because, of course, paper is not long-lasting, you know. It could get lost to fire, it could get torn. So I have a hard copy and then a soft copy. And then there used to be times when I would use my audio recorder, a portable audio recorder. Every day, I would record a word that I had learned. Like I mentioned that day the word I've learned and what it means. So why was I doing that? I was storing knowledge for myself and for whoever will be able to access that that data. And then the other thing, of course, is visual archiving, which can be one by you, the creative artist, being observant enough of your environment. Wherever you are, there's something going on. Even if it's in your room, there could be a mosquito flying by. So how do you pick something out of that? How do you get something from anything that you see and then produce it into the world? And then there's also the visual archiving, that is using your gadget to record. It could be recording a show or recording maybe just a border passing by. And that will help you somehow in your process. You know, the thing about storing data is that, and this is what I've learned, you don't know when you need an idea that you've stored until you actually go through your files and wait, I've kept this and I can use it now. I do that a lot in my first Notepad app. I write things and then I go through them once in a while and check which one I can expound. And then the other thing, on my laptop, every year, I create a file. I give it the name of that year, 2024, and then I create other folders inside it for every month. January, which projects have I worked on? If I've not worked on a project, there's still a folder to show that I was lazy. Yeah. It's for accountability, because if I didn't put anything there, then what was I doing? I also have to check myself. That is something I learned while I was still in a poetry group, because what we would do, we would meet every month at the end of the month, and we would have to present 10 poems each. So that taught me how to have self-discipline and be consistent. Like, you know that there's a meeting and poems are needed. So you have to push yourself to write those poems. You have to be creative. So then those folders are also a form of archiving. Every month, what have you put into a specific folder? So you check all the past years. What have you been creating? How does it keep on changing and evolving and making you a better artist? If, for instance, now, 2024, in some of my folders, I'm writing ideas for visual content, because now that is the goal that I am looking at. In the past, it was just poems and maybe performance, but the direction now is for visual content to accompany the poems. So that should teach the artist growth. because it's, again, accountability. If you didn't put anything, why?
Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're past our time, but we're just going to have a submission from him, a quick one, very quick one. Then Fish is going to close this up, and then we'll be done for today. Is that okay? Okay.
So yeah, for starters, I hope, man, like we all like were paying attention as Sebule was like speaking. I hope we all did, because he like shared it all. It's like I'm just expounding on it. So I should say like we all do like archiving. Archiving, it's like a human thing. Like in the old days, I don't know how that like people like back way, but in my generation, archiving like started out from diaries. Like before the smartphone, I believe people like archived in diaries. Now it's come to an extent whereby we like archive with our phones. But I don't know if what we archive it's what we want to be known of, but I think we archive a lot of bullshit compared to what we should be archiving. I mean, people archive food. You go to Cafe Javas. Yo, I'm sorry, Yeah, people archive food. People archive food. And at the end of the day, like, do you want to be remembered for that? You ate food, Yeah, and it's generally that. You have to know what to archive. Like, we all archive at a certain point of time. You may not be like there in that space where you can get to record a video talking about what you did. Like consider archiving. Let me first broaden it down. I believe in me as me. I believe like YouTube is the biggest archive now, like of late with what we have. And Mr. Beast is the biggest archiver ever. That's why he earns a lot. Guy archives his day. Like, I may sound stupid, but that's it. Guy archives his day, whatever he does, and he's going to be remembered by generations, by generations after him. So, I'm already sounding stupid, but anyways, but anyways, I would like to end it here.
You're actually right. It's one of the things that we miss talking about. Yes, it's important for creatives and artists to archive their work. But if at all we are talking about legacy and leaving a mark in the world, then we should be careful of what we archive. You know? If we want to preserve a language, if we want to preserve a culture, then why are you waking up in the morning and taking a Fish, can you please help us close the session?
Someone has just said the best way to archive is rock painting. rock painting. The early people used to do it, so. Anyways, it's very interesting what I've been hearing from him regarding archiving. It's important to understand that however much we have our ideologies and things that we want to record down, yes, some of these platforms are interesting, something like YouTube, but guess what? These companies also have strategies that change yearly. So if you put your trust in some other person's company, it can really be wiped out because it's your only source. It's really important to have soft copy and hard copy as well. But most importantly, as you're archiving, can you classify your information as well regarding themes, topics that you're covering? But yeah, I have all these ideas, but can someone else interpret what I'm trying to say? Because I can only think based on what I know, but can a 5-year-old actually read it and also understand? And as someone once said that if you can't explain anything to something to a 5-year-old and they can't understand, it means you also do not know it yourself. That stuff hit home. So look at all the topics that you've ever explained to people. And I have a lot of nephews, but when I look at them, I'm like, can I really explain something to them and they understand? And when it comes to also archiving, it's important to ask for help sometimes. Yeah? I can have the idea, but I do not know how to interpret it in words. But I can have a writer who I can be like, this is what I'm trying to do, this is what I'm trying to express, and they know how to transform my information into data that can help someone else. So these are just things to factor. You really don't have to be the very best, as you said, but remember, if you're archiving it to another person, can they really interpret what you're doing, or you just have garbage of sketches that really don't make sense? We're going to edit that out. But anyways, I just strongly really appreciate you guys coming and discussing this issue of legacy, because it's always something that is built on sacrifice. You don't do things because you're benefiting, but you're doing things because someone else is going to benefit from your work. So whether they remember your name, it doesn't really matter. The work will speak for itself. Yeah, we have all those legendary people who have all the cash and they have all the buildings, but you ask yourself, okay, it's big, but what did you actually leave behind? No one knows. Yeah? Yeah, but what are they serving? It's really pointless. It's just some, like, it's there, it's really, oh my God, it's really history, like history, all about history, but so what? Yeah, it doesn't really help, okay, someone like me really, but maybe it can help an Egyptian, I do not know. But anyways, really just thank each one of you for coming through. It could be important to recommend a friend to come through if this session is very impactful to you. Recommend a friend or two. There's also a page, a YouTube page as well, that you can go and check out some other sessions as well if you've missed them out. Yeah, just look through, but otherwise, deuces.
Anyway, on the point of archiving, for me, I want to talk about processes are key. As you've said, the pyramids exist, your work exists, and what if you're not around to explain what you were doing? Because we don't know how the pyramids were built because processes were not left behind. If they were left behind, they were lost in time. So be versatile and all that stuff. Get onto podcasts. Don't just talk about success stories. Talk about the processes that have let you build your art. I like what William is doing on Twitter. He's sharing presets, processes. He was doing this whole Unreal thing of photography, and he was not shy to share prompts. I know photographers, you will be like, share the preset, and man, it will be weeks and weeks and weeks. I like Nino. There's a time before even I got to know Nino personally, or what, it was Instagram. I'm like, man, dope things. And he just told me, send your email and I send you that preset. And it was there immediately. You get it? So processes matter. Share processes, guys. And he has said it, he writes, he has the book. When people discover that, they will be able to understand what you are doing, and maybe your legacy can be pushed on, and they say this is like Jackson's, Tino Mkisha's preset or kind of photography. And then don't go for the likes. I recently changed my Twitter pages. I have two now. I have one for banter. I like talking a lot, man. I abuse everyone on social media. But then I have one which is strictly my pictures. Strictly my pictures. If I'm commenting, it's thanks, because it's not for today's likes. One time when they are looking for Nambole from an aerial view, my photo will be there in black and white or whatever, I edited it, or someone's face. These guys' pictures, I love documenting poets a lot in Uganda. You'll find me at every poetry event. Their faces will be there when they are gone, and they'll be the ones in magazines. So just post, guys, no matter what. On all social, create websites. I don't know whether Indali Pictures is around. He has a dope website. Agandi has a dope website. There are many website tools right now that don't need you to even know coding. Just drag and drop, and your work is there. Pixieset, Pixpar, Wix.com. Guys, there's a lot of, I'm learning that this time. And also there's a podcast coming up, Makobi Slept on Jobo. It's coming tomorrow. Yeah, it's finally coming out tomorrow. And for me, it's going to be, if I call you, there's no transport at the start, maybe in the future. But if I call you and I want you to come, just get prepared with your story, not your success story, your process. And for me, that will be a start of documenting all this. Thank you very much and have a nice time.
And guys, otherwise, thank you so much for joining us today. And please tell a friend to tell a friend that this place is really free. Do you know, many people have really thought that this place is really VIP steak and stuff like that. But please, we need all those creatives here. We need their stories. Thank you so much. and have a good night.